Alhamdulillah, been born from a Chinese family, where we know majority of the Chinese, they are Buddhists, or either they are Taoists or Buddhists, and some of my family members, they are Buddhists. And as a Buddhist, we know that if you understand the teaching of Gautama Buddha, then you understand how this word Buddha derived from.
Mm-hmm.
It derived from the word of Bud, meaning before Gautama been enlightened. So he was looking for something.
The Buddha.
Buddha.
What was his real name?
Gautama.
Gautama. So it's Gautama, and that's what it's named after.
Then after Buddha is not his name. Buddha is a title given to him.
What does that title mean?
The title derived from the word Bud, means the awakening.
Awakening.
Awakening, that he was looking for something.
So say his name again one more time.
Gautama.
Gautama.
Yeah, he was looking for something, for some kind of enlightenment.
Okay.
So the awakening of him looking for something that is missing in his life is called Bud, in the Sanskrit word.
And that again means?
Bud means awakening.
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 So he had an awakening, a Bud.
Yeah, he had the Bud.
He had the Bud.
And then later on, he got to leave the palace because he was a prince.
Oh, he was a prince.
He was a prince.
So he had the cash and money,
Oh,
but he's missing something.
He's missing the spiritual thing.
Yes.
So he knows something is missing in his life.
Uh-huh.
So he left the palace, and that's where he started his journey. The journey to look for the truth. And he encountered a lot of other hermits or so-called saints at that time, people who isolate themselves in the forest, just by themselves, keeping their hair long, their nails uncut. But he's not attracted to that kind of practice.
Yes.
If it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
So he was looking, and nobody can explain to him. Nobody can give him guidance. And that's why he meditated under a boo tree.
Under what kind of tree?
A boo tree, they call it a boo tree.
Yeah.
Because if you go back to the history of all these prophets, all prophets will have to go through this kalwa, they call kalwa.
Mm-hmm.
Means a kind of seclusion.
Seclusion.
And so what happened to Gautama, he was meditating under the boo tree, looking for an answer, looking for something. He wanted to know the real life. What is life after death? And from there he was enlightened. And when he received the enlightenment, then he was given the title Buddha.
What was this enlightenment that he had, that he experienced?
Enlightened, that he experienced, that he understand what is life now. He know what is life. Life is a mission. It's something that you must do here before you meet the Almighty God.
So he believed in a God.
He believed in God.
Because
it's so interesting. Before you come to understand about Buddhism, normally people say Gautama Buddha or Buddhism have nothing to do with God. It's a way of life.
Now hold on, were you actually like what do you call him, a monk?
I'm not really a monk, but I do get involved very closely.
You were very involved,
Yeah.
so you knew their teachings very well.
No.
Yeah. Now, how were you? Because you were obviously looking to get enlightened. So before you learned all of this, what was your faith before?
Now I was as a Chinese descendant. You always mix. You have Buddhist, Taoist, and also some of us are Christian. Later on, I became a Christian.
So wait, what were you first? What was your family? Your mother and father?
Family, they are all Buddhists.
Buddhists. So you were born into a Buddhist family.
Buddhist family.
Okay. So now the Buddhist family. Okay, they're following these teachings, but this is very interesting because, like you said, I want to if you can elaborate on this a little more, because most Buddhists, they say that there's no God.
There's no.
So this is false.
No, this is not true. This is what we taught.
Yes.
But there's nothing to do with the teaching of Gautama Buddha. If you are fair enough to go back to the history of Gautama Buddha, then you will come to a conclusion that he do not deny God.
You got to go back and study
in his Dharma, the teaching of Gautama Buddha is always called Dharma. Dharma is their doctrine.
That's their doctrine?
Their doctrine.
Okay.
Their books, they have their book. There are many books, but normally when talk about books, they talk about Dharma.
Uh-huh.
And then if you look at this teaching, the Dharma always start with karma.
Karma.
Karma. Karma, if you look in the Islamic term, is about fate, about what is being fated by God. You just got to accept now what is going to happen to you.
But we always, what they teach is like what goes around comes around. This is like the karma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you do something good, at the end of the day you'll be rewarded accordingly.
Yes.
You see, only they explain in a different ways.
Yeah.
But all come back to the qadar and qada. If you compare with what Islam say about karma, it's about qadar and qada.
So what we say is the destiny, same thing as
It's the karma.
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 Do you believe there's a God?
Yeah,
Do you want him to have a good relation with you and you obey him and everything?
I do, but I don't really.
It's okay. Everything is one step at a time only. I'm not asking you to build a giant building or nothing. I'm just asking you a question. You believe in God and is he one?
Yes.
He has no partners?
No.
Okay. And if you knew he wanted you to do something, would you try your best?
Probably wouldn't do it very well.
But would you try? Okay. So this is the beginning. That's the first step. Because none of us are perfect. There's not an angel out here that you could see. If they are, they're invisible to us, right? So if you really want to try, there's one step you take, then you take another and another. Any journey begins by the step to get out the door of your house, doesn't it? Even if you said, I'm going to take a train, on a plane, on a car, but still you had to take the first step out of the house. The first step you take is always the biggest, because once you do that, you're committed, you're ready. You know, I took that first step, I'm going. Here, look at my foot, it moved. There are two simple steps, and if you listen carefully, you'll understand why. The first step is to admit there really is God. He's one. He created me. Well, regardless of how messed up my life is, that's another story, but there is God. There is God, and I believe that. Okay. And the second thing is, I want to do things the way he wants me to do it. Again, regardless of how I find myself, still I want in my heart to have my good relation with him. If I can say that, I'm ready. Those two steps are very, very important. In Arabic, they're like this: Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. The word Muhammad is in there. Why? Because if I find anything from Muhammad that's authentic, he really said it or taught it, I'm going to try to do that, because he said he's a brother to Jesus and a brother to Abraham, meaning what? In their prophethood. And he's not going to tell me to do something illogical or crazy or get a tattoo in the middle of my forehead or something like that. It's just logical things that help me and help the people around me. So based on that, I'm going to try my best. Now, I used to preach Christianity. And when I came into Islam, there were a lot of things I said, I don't know if I can deal with that. I don't know if I can deal with that. But the brothers would tell me, look, everything is one step at a time. One step at a time. And the first step is simple. You just repeat after me. I swear there is no God to worship except my one God, Allah. Say Allah. He has no partners. Already he's helping you right now because you said it. And he knows it was in your heart all along. Now the next part. And I swear that Muhammad is his messenger. Jesus is his messenger. Abraham, David, Suleiman, Adam were all messengers of God. And I want to do my best. That's it. It was easy, wasn't it? Now we'll do the Arabic. And this is going to hit you hard now because it has so much meaning. Even the prophets, when they heard it, would go down to the ground sometime. Ashhadu. You better hold on to her. You got her? Okay. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah la sharika la wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Wa Isa, that's Jesus. Rasulullah. There you are. Now, what happened to you right here, you just got forgiven for every mistake since the minute you were born until now. All you got is good deeds. No bad deeds. Everything's clean between you and him. No matter what the people think, between you and your Creator, you're good to go. And anything you ask him now is direct connect. And then there's something after this that you will learn step by step, a connection you make 5 times a day called Salah. It means to connect again with God. And you will begin to learn some of the things that we know. But they'll show you how to do it from the English, a little bit Arabic, take your time. And before you know it, you're going to feel really great.
Okay.
How you feel right now?
I feel good. I have a little bit of hope.
That's what you needed, wasn't it? And he is the hope.
Okay.
Give a big hug to your sister. She needs it. This is Lucy.
That's your sister.
Yeah, you can say you love Lucy now. Congratulations. Sister, congratulations. This is the best day of your life right now.
Thank you.
And we're so happy for you. Very happy.
Why did I become a Muslim? All I remember is having nothing up to that point. You know, I really didn't have a religion at all. I grew up without one. I grew up without pretty much anything, and it felt like I was asleep for the first 10 years of my life. With Islam, I don't know, I started questioning. I started thinking about things, you know, that people at that age really usually don't think about. They're more concerned with MTV and Lady Gaga or, you know, whatever. They're concerned about pop culture and their peers. But for me, it's like my eyes started opening and I started to wake up. And I started to see Islam, and I got to see that people can be good. You know, up to that point in my life, I had only known family and friends and people to be something bad, who didn't care about me, who didn't care about anything, who didn't care about the world. You know, they didn't care about having virtues. They didn't think modesty was important. They didn't think that being a good person was okay. You know, I grew up in a place where if people could do wrong, they would do wrong. Islam taught me, I'm sorry, I'm just getting a little emotional. Islam taught me that people could be good. And, sorry. Islam showed me that I could be good too. And that holding out for good things in your life and saying no to these bad choices or these bad opportunities is worth it. That it's important to do that. And so that's why I love to be a Muslim. And that's why I chose Islam. My Shahada was a very simple thing. It was with a few people in a room, and that was it. There was no party, there was no celebration, there was no gifts, that kind of a thing. Which, alhamdulillah, I'm so thankful for that. Because it meant something to me that I came to Islam in such a clean, sincere way. That it wasn't full of all that attention.